we'll have to pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. The September 3rd, 2013 West County Monthly Borough Council meeting will be audio taped as well as videotaped by Mike Crawley in the audience. At this time, I will take resident comments.
Patty Colbert, Rooster Plan, West Avenue. I was wondering if there's any progress made on the no outlet sign in our area. And if a letter was sent to the daycare center about the turning lane.
Sent to whom?
Pardon me?
A letter was sent to whom?
To the daycare about the turning lane.
I talked to the officer, he did not mention that. I'm unsure of that, I'll give him a call. But as far as, I've been talking to PennDOT, and I'm going to meet with the sign guy next week on site with a drawing that I think the sign should look like versus what it does look like. So I'm going to have to leave you with that.
Okay.
All right?
As long as it's being worked on, thank you.
Yes, it is. Next resident.
I came to Board Council meeting to thank you for putting up this street light during the residential and Crescent Drive. So
Makes it a little bit better
so
there,
much
huh?
appreciated. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for
very
coming,
much.
and thank you for the support and coming. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Marie Morris, Arthur Street, has nothing to do with Arthur Street. I need permission, if possible, to close Bluff Street from the north side of Bernie's Alley up to Southern.
Or
October 5th, class reunion, pig roast.
you've done this in the past, correct?
About 100 times, yeah.
100 times. Wow, you're dating yourself.
No, our class.
We don't have to really vote on that. If there's no objection from council, then we'll proceed. Make sure that the police department knows of the date.
We'll probably do it around 11 o'clock or something.
11 a.m. till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Probably, yeah, we're
Yeah,
all
right.
so young, yeah.
I'll be down.
Okay, you can down.
All right.
You have cones?
What?
You have cones or you need horses?
I think the last time, 3 years ago, we got horses from the Orr building.
Yeah.
So if they're not around, we get a hold of somebody.
Yeah, make sure you follow up with something.
Yeah.
Next
Thank you.
comment. If there's no additional comments,
I do have one.
yes, Michael?
Michael Holly, 363 Butler Road. Okay, I just want to see, do we have anything available for an ordinance about the sign yet, the applications?
No, not yet.
Okay. Anything new with the code book?
No.
Okay. And we are having more issues about a dog in West Katanning.
Okay. First report on, you can do it on unfinished business or right now, the McKinley Street dog. Can you update everybody on that
Yes.
first?
Okay. That was resolved because I talked to Officer Gahagan about that, and I asked him to propose to the people in McKinley I would put up the $100 to buy a doghouse. And now, under one condition, it would get repossessed if I did not get reimbursed. He presented it to them. They declined the offer, and I got custody of the dog and took the dog to the Orphans of the Storm. And so that was resolved. And this new dog is another dog issue here.
Which is,
Okay, the lady wants to be anonymous, and I'll be honest with you. After reviewing why she wants to be anonymous, these people, one of the kids that live at the property has a rap sheet longer than my arm. Okay, so I could understand. But it's sad also in our community when our people are backing down, not wanting to come forward with problems because they are being scared.
Is it a neighbor dispute, he said, she said type thing, or how do you see it?
At first I may have, I wasn't sure about that, if it was going between a neighbor dispute, but, I do have, photographs, which she doesn't want me to really disclose because she'll know where the pictures came from. So it's kind of hard to prove something.
Yeah, the people have to actually come here, I can't have residents come here and say, well, someone told me this, someone told me that. That may be true, but I need to talk to those people personally. I need to know their name, I need to know their address. At that point, then I can contact them if I need additional information. And
Now-
you see that.
I do. Now,
Don't
Officer
put
Eric,
yourself in the middle of that.
Officer Airgood was,
May I add something? Is it
Sure.
101 Marine Avenue?
that is correct.
I got a call from them, I'm gonna say concerned citizen as well. And, I did actually go over to the dog, and at the time, I don't know, it looked like they were feeding, scooping water out of the swimming pool, feeding the dog,
Okay.
drinking food. Now, I don't know.
Is it on the left as you go up there?
So, I don't know, what is our rights? Is that?
It's a police issue, the
I
police,
know,
like
we
McKinley
can,
Street.
we can turn it over, but do we have anything to say? You can't go turn it over to Main Street.
Cliff, may I present this to you?
Okay. Sorry.
That's a,
No, that's wrong. There's no humane officer in Armstrong County. A neighboring county should not come in to Armstrong County. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad. And I talked to the people at the Orphans of the Storm, and they told me the only thing we have to do is to turn it over to the police. There'll be a police issue within our municipality.
and unfortunately, our officer, he knew it was an issue, and I wanted to bring this up, and I wish our mayor would have been here tonight. Because when that incident did happen on McKinley, our mayor did tell Officer Airgood, what to do. The dog was to be taken in custody by our police department and be transported to the Orphans of the Storm. Officer Airgood took upon himself at that point and made another decision after this guy called Officer Airgood on McKinley. And you talk about belittle the officer, I heard it, okay? I was inside the police back here at the fire hall, and it's a shame the way he was talked to, but I feel Officer Airgood cowered down and gave in back to the people on McKinley.
But at that point, it's a two-way street there. If he was spoken up, then the public would be here complaining that our officers are oppressing
But
residents. So they have to be very careful in what they say.
I don't
Being
feel,
the position that they are in.
I do not feel that Officer Airgood should have superseded our mayor's decision. He should have not went over top of him. And I think that is totally disrespectful. I mean, the mayors gave him instructions what to do, but Officer Airgood made his decision without, contacting the mayor for the final decision. Now, Cliff, I'd like to share something else that happened to me a couple months ago with Officer Airgood. I went and testified. I was going to be a witness for a problem that happened at the Mel's Pizza.
Okay. It's not that I don't want you to continue, but that's something I want you to approach the mayor with. I have no power whatsoever dealing with the police department. Okay?
Well, I'd like council to realize, though, when we say there is a problem with our department,
Okay.
but I'm saying when people are willing to stand up and be a witness for the police department, that officer should also respect, the person there, such as myself, and whenever another person made a defamation of my character, you would think in my defense that he would have, corrected him or put him kind of, in his place. I mean, then we wonder why people don't want to get involved.
And you felt how when this happened?
Well, as it was told by the defense attorney, that I commit illegal activity every day because of the nature of my business. And he said that to Officer Airgood, and it would have been, I feel Officer Airgood could have, says something in my defense. But that's all I have to say.
Any other rest of the comments?
I have two questions. The roof from the borough building, we were explained before when all paperwork was originally signed, end of 2012. It was a line of credit. Now, it said in the paper that it's a loan, so can somebody clarify?
So your comment is,
Is it a line of credit or is it a loan? Because it was explained to us that we were only gonna have to pay interest on the money that was actually used, and now it sounds like it's a loan, and are we responsible now for $450,000, or is it a terminology issue?
No, the only money we received from the line of credit is
So it is a line of credit, not a loan?
It is a line of credit, then essentially they're only loaning us from the line of credit what we need to pay the bills as they come in. So once we get a bill, for instance, from one of our subcontractors, I will forward that to the bank. They will pull money from our line of credit into our building account that we have set up and pay the bill from that.
So we're not paying
So-
interest on $450,000?
No.
It is a line, it is
It is.
a line of credit, not really a loan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's both, but it's.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah,
paying
but-
interest on $450,000 and we're
Right.
paying $300.
Right, they didn't throw $450,000 in our building account and say, here.
So we're only paying interest on what we pull out.
Yeah, we only spend it as we need to, as the bills come in.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. My other question is, in last month's minutes, I see that the first payment request was received from Ukraine. What was the amount? I mean, should maybe the public be, should it somehow be noted in here so that the public knows how much we're spending on the building?
It should, that's my mistake. I should have put the dollar amount in there.
Can you tell me what the dollar amount, and has only one bill been paid so far?
Wait, what was the last part?
And has only one bill been paid so far?
We got reimbursed the general fund invoices that paid for building expenses for the new building, like when vendors had to come up and run gas lines and stuff like that. So there were approximately $70,000 worth of general fund expenses pertaining to the new building that I have a spreadsheet for, and I submitted that to F&M Bank, and they reimbursed our general fund.
Monies that were already spent out of the general.
Right,
Checks
right,
that were written out of the general. fund.
Right, it was $79,900. And then the Infinity, that was their first payment request, it was $18,000. So, those two amounts were the only, and then there were closing fees for the loan, like, we had to have a credit report, commercial credit report, and a few
The borough had to have
miscellaneous.
a credit report.
Yeah, a
Really?
few like miscellaneous bank-related items that were paid from that line of
Okay, is
credit.
there any way later on that we could like see those amounts?
Yeah, we could, I mean, since we have to make a special motion for them,
yeah, this should be included in
I
the
can
minutes.
include the
So
dollar
you'll be able
amount.
to read them in the minutes.
Yeah, I should have done
Now it
that.
just seems like another one of those, oh, our money's getting spent, but we have no idea what's getting spent, what's being spent. You know what I mean? It's one of those, be it
Maybe-
transparent kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you seem to be the only person that's concerned with that, has a
I'm
problem
the
with
only
that.
person that speaks. Cliff, I'm just
All
asking.
right, okay, I have a question concerning the new building. Why did you see it fit to approach the contractors at the building site to request payroll information from them?
I did not go to the building site, I asked Carla for it.
So you did not approach the contractor at the building
No.
site? Okay, thank you.
Who,
That's all I just wanted to yes or no.
who said I did?
That's all you need to say. That's all you need to hear.
Oh,
Any other comments?
But I can't quiz you.
Any other comments? It's comment period, it's not question and answer.
No,
Right
I
here.
requested for right to know, and I asked Carla.
That's fine, okay.
I didn't ask for
You
mine.
didn't, you weren't at the building site.
No, I was not.
Thank you. Any other comments?
No, I'm done.
Just saying. Any other comments? time, request an executive session on finance and personnel.
I know.
I'm sure you do that.